Yes, it's me.
Money in the way for what they got to say. I throw it up, it's falling down, it's definitely in the way.
All right, welcome back, guys. We're doing an episode of Chart Talk with Shake and myself. Shake, you want to get started with the market outlook?
Yes, absolutely. So we got new all-time highs last week. We saw a massive shift, rotation into industrials. Financials are going crazy. Healthcare is going crazy. Semiconductor stocks going crazy. Transport's going crazy. So we're seeing a massive shift in these names. A lot of them were beat up earlier in the year with the trade talk and the trade war and all that. So we're seeing massive rotation back into those names. So it's creating kind of a different trading environment from the names that we're used to, just from a name standpoint, where, I'm much more willing to take these names, these financial names, the healthcare names, industrials, all these things that, we might consider slow movers when, we have the tech stocks really popping. But I have no problem trading those names since they're seeing such a massive money rotation into these names. They're giving some great trading. What are you thinking?
I mean, it's crazy that we're just new highs like every new day. Every day it's great trade.
We're being led up by the Dow, which is really, really interesting. We're seeing all these huge companies, and I mean, it's just a signal that people are pricing in sort of an end to a trade war. Maybe not an end, but at least some progress. So we'll see as it develops. But we're in a really nice swing trading environment. I have the most positions I've had on all year. From a really short-term standpoint, we definitely need to consolidate this move in the indices. But from like a weekly standpoint, the trend is up right now. It's as simple as that.
New highs get bet with new highs.
Yep.
We've heard many times. All right. With that, we can jump into the member ideas. Now, if you'd like, Shake, we'll start with AAP, which is one of Anish's ideas. AAP 170.
They have earnings coming up, maybe for an opening range breakout if the earnings are good on November 12th. But this is an avoid until they have earnings. So we'll see how it does earnings day. But big catalyst coming.
Yeah, and that's been that like 170, 172 area has been like an area of resistance for the last couple of years. So definitely, if we get some good earnings, that might be finally the time to push it through.
Yeah.
And then let's see his next idea here. This KL through 47.
Yeah, I like this KL a lot. It was pretty weak today, and this stock is pretty notably like inverse to the market. Whenever the market was really volatile, this would be one of the most relatively strong names because they're, I guess, a gold supplier or whatever. But it was weak today. But if it can get above that 47 area, then definitely. I like the little pattern it's got going.
Yeah, we haven't talked about a gold name in like years. I feel like that's
this one was like the special one though. That was like always green in a red market.
Yeah. Let's see. Next, we got Average Joe. He's looking at IQV.
Yeah, IQV. I bought a feeler in this IQV today, actually. So this huge October 30th wide range day was earnings. And they tried to sell off, and they held a huge support level, and it's at this really tight inflection point. So I think if it can break above this 149 area, it should 148, 149? Yeah, that 148 area. So right now I'm in it with a really tight stop against 145. Tiny little feeler. I'm looking to add pretty aggressively through that 148 area. I like this one. Yeah.
Nice. Let's see. Next we got Cameron and looking at this EXPD 75, 76 area.
Yeah, nice macro level. They have earnings November 5th. So if they have good earnings, that's definitely one you want to watch. Lead this monstrous important level, 75, 76 area. So yeah, if they have good earnings, that one can definitely take out that level. Definitely one to watch.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on that one as well. And then it seems like the group has been kind of fighting with this BABA the last couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, BABA is so difficult to trade to me. I avoid trading this name at all costs. It's like Facebook to me because it's one of those high betas with a huge float. So it's just like there's so much volume. There's so many flashy moves. It seems like the names are always trying to run your stops. But, I mean, it's coming out of a macro pattern, and we're seeing these Chinese names turn around. We can look at this Momo today was the stock of the day. we were watching this one through 35. A bunch of guys got it. I didn't. Sure wish I did. And then this JD was another one. So it's like these Chinese names are trying to come out of these big patterns, and if they do, then Baba should, right? Theoretically. So I mean, something to watch for. It's just like you got to keep this Baba wide, and it's really tough to catch it on the day. Like it gives so many fake out moves and stuff like that. Like this morning off the open, we look on a 15-minute. It was so strong, volume was huge, and then it didn't really do much the rest of the day. So it's just a tricky name to trade. It's really got to get through that 184 area, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's reminded me like this last couple of days reminds you of when we were buying it in like middle of September through like that 180, and like that first day it ripped $4. We had guys who wanted to buy like 184, and we're like relax, like we bought 180, keep it simple, and then it quickly reversed, and it seems like it's that same story again like a month later. Everyone wants it to go, and it's like when everyone's talking about it wanting it to go, usually that's usually not the case. It's like when everyone's complaining about it, usually the writing's on the wall. Let's see. Next up, we got Drew Brodman. He's looking at LRCX.
So these semiconductor stocks are super, super strong. So he's in the right sector. It's just this is a little overbought for now. We need this one if you really want it to base out for like 2 or 3 weeks. But right now it's pretty Mickey Mouse flaggish. But a strong name. Semiconductors are really strong. But not yet for this LRCX.
Yeah, I need some time. Sorry, Drew Brodman, you got to be a little more patient. Let's see, we got Heaven. He's looking at this cost.
Costco. Oh, yeah. Costco, everything about their stock is so good right now. Costco's are going nuts in China. Through that 300 area?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely through 300. And that's one if you get in, you just kind of want to trail it and just try to stay in it as long as possible because it wants to be a market leader. So it's like just be patient and try to get a long-term winner out of that.
And then his second one was his DDOG.
D-Dog. Through this 35, yeah, that looks nice. I like these recent IPOs. Tech hasn't been super popping the past few weeks, but these IPOs are a whole different breed. So through that 35, that one looks really nice. Completely different from Costco. You want to just trail it and stay in that as long as possible. Datadog, you want to ride this for the momentum and get out before the momentum all leaves. So completely two different setups there, but both good setups in their own right. Yeah,
definitely agree. And then rounding up, we got Val with this Sono.
Yeah, you know what? This Sono broke a huge base, $12, $13 earlier this year. And then since then, it kind of retested the base, and now it's coming back up out of the base. So if we look at like a weekly or a monthly chart, it's pretty obvious on the level where it's like it broke out of this level, came back to retest it, and it looks like it's moving higher. So this name, probably into year end, especially being Sonos and like a Christmas gift type name, I could see this getting a really good end of year pop. So and on the macro, from a macro perspective, looking at the weekly and monthly, I think this one definitely moves higher over the next course of 3 or 4 months. So definitely one to keep an eye on. I like it.
Nice. All right, so we wrapped up all the member ideas. We can jump into good trade, bad trade. If you'd like, I can just go first, and then we can jump into yours right after.
Jump in.
All right. So I'm going to start off with probably the worst trade was this PFPT. So I've been talking about the last couple weeks is trying to find these names buying up off of support versus trying to buy the breakout. And this name, clearly just hasn't worked. So I was buying like up through 116, and then I was adding above 118, and today it just got pretty shit on, just opened high and just pretty much puked the whole day.
This name
It's actually starting to look pretty solid short.
I was going to say that too. It's failing that huge inflection point, so that it looked like under this pivot, 113. Where are you putting your stop if you're long this name? So
yeah, that's exactly where it is.
Yeah.
So, but again, so for here, I'm losing 5 points on the ad. I'm losing 2 or 3 points on the first buy. So again, not every support buy is going to work. A guy fresh who mentioned today they want to short it, and it's like, go ahead and short. Like, I'll take my 2% loss. I'll move on, and then it's just not ready. 2 that were working pretty good. This MTB, both through on 160. Again, this is not really buying up support, but you can see that 160 area was setting up for pretty much all September and October. So I bought through, and again, the financial names have been starting to finally wake up, so that one's working well. And then this PRAH, I bought up this through 100, after earnings,
Okay.
and today like it respected that 100 level like to the penny,
Yeah,
and
resistance to support flip.
yeah.
Gorgeous.
So now it's just break even stop 99.89,
Let it work.
and it's like for now it's like I'm looking ideally if I get it up near 106 107 like I'll start to take some off. But those are the three trades. I think that PFPT was a little lesson. One thing with that dollar cost averaging wise, I've been trying to focus on always dollar cost averaging at a higher price, just then it avoids kind of adding to some of those losers. But again, sometimes it's not going to always work. So you got to just take them,
Right.
got to roll the punches. You want to jump into your good trade, bad trade?
Yeah, all right, let's jump in. All right, so good trade, bad trade. Let's go over the last week of trading. So last Wednesday, we got some big news out of the Fed that we were getting another rate cut, our third straight rate cut. Very bullish environment, rate cutting environment, market at highs. So that signals us it's more of a risk on time and more of a swing trading environment where most of the year in this chop, I've really shrunk my time frame down. Now what I'm doing is I'm expanding my time frame. My whole goal of earning season is to get into winning swing trades and build a portfolio of all winners. And I'll show you because that's where the easy money is made swing trading long, not pounding the keys every day. And I'll go over my trading. We'll start with this Microsoft. We bought this Microsoft this day, these first 2 days right here. It's breaking a huge macro pattern. And I'm just waiting for this one. I took some off into the up move. And now I'm just waiting for this one to build out the next flag so I can continue higher. Like PPG. PPG, I bought this 120. I kicked some into this 125 area. I held on to my core. And now I'm still just sitting in a winning swing trade. And I'm just trailing it now. And my stop is still, down here, 122, whatever that is. I'm just letting this one breathe because it's breaking such a huge macro level on earnings. Similar to this Intel, and this is why I'm focused on, the strongest earning names, all that. Alpha did really well with this. We bought here, opening range breakout, so I ended up having 40 cents in the trade, and I just sold some today for over $3. Good risk reward there. Similar to this JBH, and I'm still sitting in it. Similar to this JBHT, we bought this one here. The transport started to explode. We were 116 stop, held the figure perfectly and turned up, and I sold some the past couple days. That one's looking good. This TAL, really strong name, opening range breakout, still just sitting in this name. I took some off. I didn't take any off today. I took some off Friday before the weekend. But look at this. We bought right here, and then I was able to add. Then I rebought, kicking the strength, and I rebought on the retest and popped up. So this has been a very positive cash flow trade for me because I was able to book a lot of profits with some size as well. Now I have a good core position that I can just hold and trail very widely in case this wants to make a run for highs. So it's Lulu I got stopped out of today, and this happens too. Bought this whenever we bought this October 10th. And I took the majority of my position off into this, and then it came back, and I got out break even for that. That's fine because I booked so much profit in here, and I gave it the chance. I gave it the necessary room it needed to go higher. This one's not ready yet. This Amazon, Amazon trade. I'm pretty long this Amazon. Not pretty long. Decent position. I just traded this really well following the Fed, and I'll go over the executions. So on Fed day, here you go. So here is this Amazon. All right. So here's the setup. It opened earnings, major support level. Extremely bullish move off that support level. This thing does not want to sell off. People who are long the stock do not want to see it break down. So then when it consolidated in this area, I found an entry on Fed day. Was this Fed day October 30? It was October 30th. So I found an entry that day. Right after the Fed. This is one of the names I was keying in on at the Fed. And you can see the Fed news came out. And now here's what you have to do in these Fed moves because they are so choppy. And you have to day trade some stock because you can't really trust these Fed day moves because we see reversals so often. So I bought some of this Amazon, and I was just sneaking in 1770. I think I had a 1764 stop for some. And then, yeah, just 1764, 1770 versus 1764. I got a nice little move, and this is a 5-minute chart, so things are moving very quickly. Look, this is 2 o'clock right here. Fed announces their cutting rates, so this is like what I need to hear to be super bullish. So I buy some. I don't get any kicks off, and the market reverses, and it comes down and holds my little area, this 760, 768, 769. I buy a little more, and I get my kicks off. So then I pay for the whole trade. So just like some 10-point kicks with $6 of risk. It's nothing crazy. But now I've paid for my trade, and now I'm just sitting pretty with some good stock in Amazon. I sold some Friday, and I'm just sitting in it, swinging it, and I'm waiting for the next flag, so it can move higher. But I'll give some back to this, to my price and to the 1760 area. But I've booked a ton of profit in this, so this has been a really good trade. Very similar is this TMO. This is one of the ones I was looking for at the Fed. After the Fed, hold on. Oh, so this TMO actually got me early in the day. All right, so here it is. That's what it was. I took a loss. I had a feeler in it, and you see this sell right here. So I had a feeler in it, and they shook me out like right at the low because I knew I had to give it down to this 290, and my price wasn't good enough. So it was just a feeler loss or whatever. And then the Fed comes out with the news. Here you go, 2 o'clock. And this one I buy. I get a little bit off there, but it's more of a swing trade because this is a name I'm very bullish on for the quarter. I found a great entry, and now I'm pretty confident the market's moving higher. So then I got some off today. This one is coming back at me pretty hard. I'm not sure if it'll work out or not. It doesn't look great, but I already paid for the trade. I booked some good profit. So that was another nice one. And then let's talk the disaster of the week. Shouts out to Captain Joe. He fucking murdered this name. This AMED. So we're all waiting for this AMED. Huge level. Some great earnings. Raised guidance. All that good stuff. Everything you want to see. So this is like, a name I've been waiting for. I get the earnings I want to see. So I'm going to go after this. So, and it's such a difficult name to trade because of its thinness. But here you go. So here's the earnings day, the intraday, which is this day on the chart on the daily, and you can see it was a doji closed pretty much where it opened. Really wide range day. High to low was that 128, 139, like $11. So it's a very wide name. I was trying to get really heavy in it and reading buyers and trying to sneak in, and I went for this one. And here's the key to the trade is this. So right off the open, it's going to trade very wide because the spreads are wide. It's right off the open. Earnings, ton of people are throwing orders like crazy left and right. So I'll wait for it to tighten up. And I tried to trade this intraday range a little bit. So we saw this 136 seller come in. And then we finally, what I thought was, you'll see I added a lot here. This right here. See a lot of triangles. We saw him lift. He was sitting at the figure, refreshing, selling 136. And then the offer went to 136.25. So I immediately, thinking the seller had broken, uptick, buy, that 136.25. And then the worst thing ever, I got price improvement, meaning that seller is still there. He's just hiding. So I wanted to buy 136.25, and I took the offer at 136.25, and then my price was 135.69 on those buys. Like, it sounds great. Like, I wanted to buy this higher price, and I got a better price. But really, that just means the seller's still there. He's strong. He's trying to hide his order. And then, you see it fell off. I gave most of the stock $4. I gave a little bit to the low of the day. And then, sneaky-ass name, it does nothing the next day. Oh, God. Does absolutely nothing but, show complete weakness this day. And Captain Joe buys it then. And then the next day it gets a huge upgrade, price target, all that. And now this name looks so good for the quarter to come. But that one definitely got me. I took a big old loss in that one. That was annoying. And then I'll give you another annoying one. This shop. All right. So where was the inside day? All right. So this day right here, it was Thursday. This is a trade I probably shouldn't have taken. Let me get these moving averages out of here. So we can see this tiny little box since earnings. This is shop since earnings. And now 320 to 300 seems like pretty wide, but this is a wide ass name. Look at this day, high to low, $34. So Shop is a high beta, and you got to know what you're trading here. So I was very bullish on the name after seeing these two. I saw this. This was earnings day. Not much going on. That didn't clue me in. And then this tight inside day where it looked like, buyers are meeting sellers. It looks like to me it wants to explode through this 320. So I have a bullish bias on this. And then that day, where was it? That day I bought too early. Here's the day, and it was so frustrating because I should have been waiting for that 322. I buy this 321, and then nothing happens. And it's just like a waste. It's a complete waste. So I was trying to be too early. I was trying to tape read too much and things like that, seeing I had found a buyer. So that was one of my main mistakes. And then I'll give you another mistake is this TDOC. Great entry, horrible trade management. Let's go to the triangles. So here, what's the trade on this TDOC? So TDOC, crazy healthcare name. Huge level on earnings, great earnings. Beat, raise guidance, all that. So then we have a great entry on this TDOC. And I'll show you right off the open. We end up buying, what is that, 73.50-ish or so. So it makes a move towards the 76, and there's a huge seller at 76. So I only take a tiny piece off. And the volume is so high, I'm thinking we're getting, 78, 79, 80 very, very soon. Then we get this horrible pull-in. This pull-in from 76 down to 70, 73. I'm long from 73.50. I end up buying more, but that pull-in puts some fear into my heart. My emotions in this trade go from I'm going to make 20 grand on this trade to, oh my God, let me sell at 76 if I can sell because I had that pull-in. And it was such a fast intraday pull-in. The stock went 72, 77 down to 73. So I did get my kicks off at 76, but all these triangles, that's 90% of my position. And so I only made $3 on the trade and then end of the day, if I'm just more patient, I'm getting a much bigger return on this. So I had a great entry, and I was tape reading. I was reading this seller at 76, and he was so strong I could see it. And then me seeing him, that strength in him, and having the fear of this pull-in, I completely got out of my stock. I took my trade. I took my win at the end of the day. Nice kick here, but it wasn't much stock compared to what I'd given up at 76. So you see what I did well in the Intels and the TALs, stuff like this. Intel. Oh, that's a 5-minute candle. Where it's like I sell some today into strength. You can see I'm long from there. TAL. I was long from here. Rebought on this. Rebought there. And selling into strength. And then I have a macro focus on those where this name, I was in and out in 20 minutes. I was impatient. I didn't have faith in the stock, but I had entered the trade. So you can see I made a lot of mistakes in that one. And then the last thing I'll highlight is this ISRG. I think this is one that we all have to really key in on. Here's the entry for me. See this little area? I bought this inside day. I don't have a ton of stock though. And then I gave it to this area. So I already have a nice trade on my hands. And if we can see on the weekly chart just how big this level is. So often with these levels, we see they don't want to let you buy this 580. As we just saw in this AMED, how difficult they made that. So this ISRG, my thinking is that once it breaks this 565, 570 area, the earnings highs, that is going to be the entry for this break of highs. I don't think they're going to give you a good setup to buy that 580, so we got to really be focused on this. So I only have a small position. I'm looking to add, but a nice entry, and I was just sitting back, and you see when I take more of a macro focus and we have a good swing trading environment, how much easier trading is versus the T-Docs where I'm just like this. Yeah, it looks nice on a chart, but that's difficult, and you don't want to have to make a career doing that shit. You want the easy money. You want to just be chilling in Microsoft. You want to just be chilling in PPG, stuff like that. This is easy money. All right, the TDOCs, even the AMED, that's hard money, like stuff like that. So while we're in this great swing trading environment and while earnings are giving us these great moves, I think it's a great opportunity to build portfolios and hold on to your winners right now. All right.
Yeah. All right. So if you like shake, we can jump into the top ideas of the week. If you want to start it off.
Yeah, absolutely. I have it up on my screen right now. This Yeti, since earnings, not the best earnings in the world, but didn't sell off, and this is such a momentum name that it would have really gotten killed. Like one of the like a Pinterest, for example, got absolutely smoked on earnings because they weren't good enough. So Yeti not breaking down tells me it still wants to move higher because the volume's still there. So I like this one a lot through 34. Another name on the list is CERN, CERN, Cerner Corp. Didn't close great today, but you can see how tight it is within this little inflection point. If we can get above this 68 quarter area, 68.50, I think that one could be really good. I'll give you those two.
Nice. I got the top three. Again, they're probably not going to be a little different. We got this ATVI through 57. It's been set up for a little bit.
You know what looks really good too? Sorry to cut you off. EA Sports. Very similar, same sector. But look at that base. That's beautiful.
Yeah, through 100, 99, 100.
Yeah. So back to Activision. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, yeah, same space. At 57, it's been
Huge
set up
base.
for a very long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So keeping an eye on that one. And these other two, talk about the large cap names earlier. This Merck. Again, I don't want to really be buying 87 in Merck. I don't want to be buying the breakout in this name. But we can see this range at 80 to 87. So as it continues to kind of pull in, when it can find some support and turn back up, I'll look to pick up some Mercs. I don't have to be perfect and try to buy 87. I want to get a bit of a better price. And same with this with Verizon. I know you've had Verizon for a long time.
Oh yeah, this is my I just keep buying Verizon. Stop long term.
Yeah, so it's like I don't want to be buying 61, but same premise. If it continues to pull in and get a little weak and it does start to turn back up, I'll start to pick some up in that Verizon. So a little bit different. I'm not trying to buy the breakout in those two. The ATVI, obviously, I'm going to have to buy 57 when it wants to go. But those other two, I can be a little more patient and find like a better entry.
I have a question for you. Procter and Gamble is the 5-year high in.
Oh, it got pretty beat up today.
It got killed today, and look at the run it's been on all year. Last few years, I'm saying is the high in until like 2022.
I think short term, I don't think we're going to see higher than 125 for a while.
Yeah, I think that's very, very toppy to me.
Yeah. So we should. We talked about this last week. Me and Nick, we bought that 117. We sold 120.
You sold into it. Yeah. No,
we still have like our 100 stock that we bought beginning of the year.
Okay.
So that will I'm not going to sell into weakness. Same premise as before. Like when it does start to turn, any pop in its strength, I'll look to take it off. But yeah, I do think the move in Procter & Gamble is going to be more consolidation period than the uptrend that it's been on.
I just saw that action today, and I remember you saying I don't know, I think the top's in PG, and I'm like, oh shit, that looks like a 3-year top is in.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So I think we knocked it out. Guys, if you're still with us, drop us a little thumbs up. Sure, me and Shake are doing a good job, I hope.
Yeah, we're filming this out of order, so this isn't the end, but okay.
So, Shake, what book are you reading this week?
All right, so my book of the week is The Outsiders, not the throwback The Outsiders. This it's a book about 8 unconventional CEOs and their radically rational blueprint for success. It just goes into stories about guys like Buffett, and it takes more an analytical approach into their mindset and things like that. It's a really good read. Whoa, I'm only halfway through it, so I don't have too many stories to tell, but highly recommend so far. Just good business mind stuff.
Nice. I'm reading That Will Never Work, which is like the Netflix story, and how it's crazy that the one thing that really stood out was that Netflix was founded 20 years ago, or we think of Netflix as like a recent, maybe 5 years ago. We don't think of it being around for that long.
Right.
And just to think of, 20 years ago, like DVDs weren't even that popular. Like when they had the biggest DVD rental business back then, and they had 1,000 different titles. It's all the titles they had. And like the first few, I'm a quarter way through the book, and it's like they just launch, you just open like their sites live, and their whole business is obviously renting DVDs, but 99% of their sales the first few months was all DVD, like hard sales. So like their goal was to buy the DVD, obviously rent it out numerous times and make money off it, but everyone was just buying the DVDs, and no one would they did like $100,000 in revenue like their 5th month in, and $99,000 of the revenue was just DVD sales when the whole premise was to rent. So it's like they're trying to figure out all these little problems. There was no cloud computing back then, so like their servers are crashing like every day. So it's going through like all the little trials and tribulations of when it first started. But it's a very easy read. You can kind of flow through it. So
That's pretty interesting.
yeah.
All right. Wrap this thing up.
All right,
Take
guys.
us home.
Until next week.
All right.
Happy trading.